Hey everybody, so this is basically part 2 of my previous video where I talked about how I'm building my units, how I'm spending viz on them, what banners I'm pulling on, and basically gave an idea of what I usually buy. But now I kind of want to get into the nitty gritty of it all and basically go through my purchase history and see how much I've spent on this game. So we're here in my iTunes purchase history and we're just going to look at everything that I bought. There's going to be some bad free-to-play games in here and stuff, so we're just gonna scroll through it. All right, so this is starting off in March 27th. The game came out on March 25th, so apparently I was a day 3 player, but I actually missed a lot of days because I just wasn't into the game at first. So I don't have the perfect streak going on. Anyway, so as you can see here, there's the open VPN. So this was around when the pandemic started. So I was working from home, and apparently I downloaded Lara Croft Go on the same day. So let's keep going. I'm basically just gonna scroll up. There's a bunch of, a song I bought, another free-to-play game that isn't around anymore, some other like really crappy games that I downloaded from ads, Procreate. I had also gotten an iPad around this time, so I was just kind of playing around on my iPad. I originally installed the game on the iPad. So yeah, COVID-19, another crappy free-to-play game, some food apps. Hilo is like where I would check my COVID tests. Epic 7 is really good, but I didn't really play that much. Pokemon Smile is terrible. We're kind of going through these months, and in these first few months, I didn't buy anything. So Exos Heroes was another good game. Seven Deadly Sins, pretty good. And we're here in August. So from March to August, I have not bought anything so far. And you can see that my first purchase was actually the Job Crystal, the JP Crystal. I just bought it just to kind of get my feet wet and just buy something. So that's actually been a worthwhile purchase over time. The longer you have it, the more it pays off. So that's pretty good. So I just had to skip something because it had contained personal information, but we're still on August 8th. And for the rest of August, so I think these are all the purchases that I've made. Visor Pack A, Visor, basically dollar purchases. And then from a recommendation from a friend, I decided to buy the 30-day Visor Pack because that seems like a good way to get a lot of Viz for your dollar. So I've usually bought that pretty much every month since then, and I think that's a pretty good value. So the total for August is $18. If we add up the 10 here and the 8 for the JP Crystal, that adds up to $18. So let's continue. The Apple Store is by week, so I kind of have to go by week here. But as you can see, the first week of September, daily Visor Pack, and then a bunch of $1 purchases, along with the only $2 that I've ever spent on Pokemon Masters. I didn't even need to spend it. I just said, you know what, I've been playing this game for a year, so might as well throw in a couple of bucks. But here I'm still getting my feet wet here, and you can see there's a bunch of dollar purchases, and then there's that one $5 purchase. A couple of other games downloaded here. A lot of we're gonna see a lot of these ad games that I'm like, okay, I clicked the ad and I just checked it out, whatever. And here on September 23rd, another 30-day Visor Pack. So that's obviously been my favorite pack. And since that's the end of September, the total number for September is $20. So $20 is actually not too bad. If I only spent $20 like today, I would be super happy with that month, with that being a total month for War of the Visions. So as you can see, more COVID stuff. And we're actually now in October 23rd, so we're pretty much a month later. And I didn't really buy anything for that month, so I'm still doing pretty decently. Here's the 30-day pack. Here's another $1 UR unit daily piece, whatever that means. And that's pretty much it for October. So what is that, $9? Is that right? $9 for October. So all right, so let's keep going. We got November here. So now it looks like I'm buying a little bit more. So we got $5, a dollar, $5. The Walmart app, because I was trying to get a PS5, I think, at that point. Okay, so we're still in November. I think now we're near Black Friday, but it's still $8 for whatever the NRG booster pack is. Not entirely sure what that is. And then another dollar. And then on November 22nd, we got the 30-day pack again, and we have another dollar. And that might be it for November. No. Okay, so November, the Black Friday unit pack. I believe that was the Dwayne pack, if I'm not mistaken. I thought it was like 40 something dollars. But I bought the Dwayne pack, and I didn't actually use it on Dwayne. I used it on Glaciella, KelThaFunkee, and Ildira. So those shards that you were supposed to use to buy Dwayne, I used them on other units. It was totally worth it, but probably should have just taken Dwayne at that point. Besides that, there's the Black Friday Chocobo pack, the Black Friday Rainbow pack. So I did start kind of looking at the lower price purchases in addition to that Dwayne pack. I'm pretty sure that's the Dwayne pack. And so the total for November is going to be $78. So that's actually quite a big jump. Even if we're going from the 20 point to the 78, that is a pretty big jump on a monthly basis. So now we are in December, and smaller purchases here. $5 is probably the most. And then I also bought a $10 purchase in another game, King of Fighters. And I remember they were having a collab, and I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this collab, so I just ended up buying a couple of other free ad games here. Best Buy, Files Mobile, and probably another free-to-play game. Still in December, we got an $8 purchase, a $5, another $5. So I was buying a lot of those daily Visor packs, which are the ones if you go to the top right next to your Visor and you press the plus sign and that menu comes up. I was buying the daily Visor pack from there. I guess I thought that was a good deal, but usually I end up buying from the special shop nowadays because I think that those have a potential for having like better deals. Okay, so continuing onward, we have the 30-day value pack. And then I think this is the first time they did the super 30-day value pack. So that one's basically, 3 times the price? And yeah, I ended up buying that like without even giving it another thought. And we're approaching the winter stuff. So I think this should be around Christmas where I think that was Final Fantasy IV. So that's probably why I was spending money. And then the winter units. So I ended up pulling for Ramada here. I pulled on the 6K paid banner, and that could have been Ramada or it could have been Mashari. I ended up getting Ramada, who was the one I wanted, so I was pretty happy about that. But if we look here in total, we actually spent a lot of money. Like it looks like we're over 100. Let me double check my number that I had for December. And there, $117. You could say that was my first big month, but really it wasn't that much higher than for November. So if you think about going from October to December, then yeah, that's a huge increase. Where from November to December, it's an okay increase, All right, so let's go into 2021, and we're gonna scroll all the way down to January. This is like not the best system here that they got, but we're gonna keep scrolling until we find January, which is down here, right here. So here in January, I have a $7.99 purchase of the New Year's bundle. What was New Year's? I don't remember. I remember there was a Chinese New Year's, and that was actually pretty awesome. But I don't remember if there was anything special for regular New Year's. But I did end up buying an $8 pack and 3 $1 packs. There's a couple of other things here, I guess, to kind of communicate with people. And here we go. This is the second week of January. So we have a $5 purchase at the bottom and a bunch of single $1 purchases. So I'm guessing those are like the daily purchases for one of the new units. So that's not anything too crazy to me. And I also have this Pokemon Go purchase here, which I remember like not feeling like that was worth it. And I probably won't be buying anything else in Pokemon Go ever again. But, you know, I was hanging out with friends that day, so I guess that was worth it. So I think we're still in January, and we got a couple of other free-to-play games. So more January stuff. We got the $12.99 pack and the $7.99 pack for the 30-day. You know, I'm not really sure what that $12.99 pack was, but I'm assuming it's something like the Chocobo pack, which I do buy somewhat often because I think it's kind of worth it. And I think, so that's the end of January. So the total for January is $46, which is actually really good coming off of that December cost of that month. So I'm actually very impressed with myself there. All right, continuing onward to February. It's kind of the same trend here, a lot of $1 purchases. And we actually have 3 $5 purchases. No, 4 $5 purchases, 5 of the daily Visor pack. So I was basically buying $25 worth of Visor at this time. I don't really know what I was saving for, but I think March was actually Final Fantasy X. So I might have been getting ready for that or something that came before Final Fantasy X. So this is still February. We got a $12.99 pack and a bunch of dollar packs. We have a $7.99 pack and a bunch of dollar packs. And I think that's the end of February. That should be the end of February. Is this March? Yeah, so then the total for February is $59. So again, that's not bad. If I only spent that much this month, I would not feel bad about that at all. So let's continue onward. And by the way, guys, this is my second time filming this video. So the first time I actually calculated everything out, but it was over an hour long. So I'm here just kind of going through it. So that's why I kind of have it set up already. It's not as much as a reaction, but hopefully you guys can still enjoy me going through this and seeing how much I end up spending. Okay, so here we go. Another like week where I buy the daily purchase every single day. So I think that might have been, someone must have come out at that point. Maybe that was when we had Titus or Yuna and we were getting those shards. But I think we'll see here pretty soon when that comes out. A bunch of other apps here. And yeah, so this is looking like a very big purchase week right here. $23, $24 for 30-day value pack plus first anniversary. So this is definitely Final Fantasy X. That's $24. That's 8 at the top for the Rainbow pack. I'm guessing that's Rainbow Fragments of Thought and Rainbow Vision Spheres because those were a hot commodity in those days. So that was probably a really good deal on that. We got the regular 30-day and we got a couple of other single dollar purchases. And I think we're approaching the end of March. So yeah, that's the end of March. And what do we have for the month of March? $58. So it seems like that's basically where I'm averaging out for like an average month. But let's keep going. I think it's going to get a little bit more, a little higher than that. Let's just say. All right. So first week of April, you know, a bunch of single $1 purchases and a special starter pack, which I think that might be the start of those like 2,400 paid viz for $8, I think, or those might be $7. So I'm not really sure what that is then. What do we have here? We have a bunch of $1 purchases, including that was when they released the soundtrack. So I ended up buying, you know, the intro song, both the English version and the Japanese version, because I guess the paid versions of those are longer than the one we hear in the game. So I just decided to buy them. And again, the 30-day Visor pack anniversary. So this was at the end of Final Fantasy X. I had pulled all 3 units and I think I had maxed Titus, but I was like, you know what? Let me get more of those medals so that I could build either Yuna or Auron. And then at the same time, I think those medals also counted towards King Mont. I'm not really sure of the timing on that, but I remember using some of those medals on King Mont. So, you know, it was $47, but it was pretty worth it. And again, we see, like, this is my other game that I play, King of Fighters. And so far, at this point, I've only spent $15 on that game. So, you know, I feel like on that game, I'm pretty, I can control myself a lot more, and I'm mostly free to play. Oh, actually, so we're seeing here that there's two $46 purchases. So one of them was the medal, which is the top one, and then the bottom one I think was actually the one where you get 6,000 paid and 4,000 free. So I may have had in my mind that I was saving for Final Fantasy VII, or I may have had in my mind that Nier was out and I needed Visor for Nier, so I kind of just ended up buying that. It happens. Okay, I think this is the end of April, and so the total for April, I'm gonna say probably 100 and something, 124. So we're getting up there. That's so far the highest month that I spent. December was Final Fantasy IV and Christmas, and April was Final Fantasy X. So those were my highest spending months. So if we even just look at my data, it's very clear that the collabs are what makes the most money for Gumi, at least for me. So let's continue onward here. I actually bought some decent packs here. The Chocobo pack, Visor Pack F. So I think Visor Pack F is that $7 2400 paid Viz pack, and the Rainbow pack was the Rainbow Fragment of Thought and the Rainbow Vision Spheres. So those were really good deals back then. Now maybe not so much. All right, so this is a long month apparently. So $7.99 for a special starter pack. So I think that's actually the one where you get like growth eggs and, you know, gill snappers, and what I covered that at the end of my last video. So those are okay. I kind of like those because they are helpful with your resources. Sometimes I buy the Magicite ones as well because there's really no good way to get Magicites. All right, so we have the daily dollar purchases. So clearly I was either going for 9S or something else there. So that was almost 2 weeks worth of daily purchases at 99 cents. Okay, so then we see that $47 purchase. So that was what I mentioned at the end of my last video, where I basically wasn't really able to build 9S to EX jobs, and I felt kind of guilty, and I just bought the medals for him so that I could get him as close to 200 or 300 shards as possible. Then I kind of kept him in the barracks for a while. So that's, you know, I ended up breaking that month and breaking down and buying that pack there. So that was actually a pretty big purchase because of a collaboration. And if we continue onward, I think I'm going to buy another bigger thing. So actually, again, I did the opposite. That first pack was the 6,000 paid, 4,000 free, and then that second pack was the medals. So I ended up buying $100 worth of stuff so I could finish 9S, and I guess so I could continue having more Viz for the future, because I think by this time Final Fantasy VII was announced. So my plan was to just buy the packs, the big $47 packs, when they were on sale, so that I could save that Viz for the future for Final Fantasy VII. And I knew we would eventually get like winter rerun and the summer and other stuff. So I kind of was preparing ahead of time for some of that stuff. So we're finishing off here with a dollar purchase and another 30-day bundle. We got a couple of crappy games, but that's actually the end of May. So let's see what the total was for May. Pretty much on the same pattern as before. We have exceeded our highest month, and now May has become our highest month. That's partially because of Nier, but that's also partially because I was preparing for Final Fantasy VII. So here we are in June. We've got a bunch of daily packs, almost, I think that's more than a week's worth. We have the events given. So looks like I was building 2 units here. This might have been Black Witch Helena. This might have been her card. I think her card came out way earlier than that. So I think it might have been Black Witch Helena, and whatever other unit might have come out around there. There's another 30-day pack. I feel like it's getting earlier and earlier in the month for that. and another super 30-day pack. So I think that means there was another event going on. I'm not really sure what June was. Was June the start of summer? Was it? I don't know. I don't think it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. I really don't know what was in June. All right, so let's continue here. We got Visor Pack F. So clearly, the fact that Visor Pack F is there means that there was an event going on. Starter Visor Pack, Chocobo Pack. So I bought a lot of those like less than $10 packs there. Special starter pack. So there's a starter pack. No, starter Visor Pack and special starter pack. So there's a lot of smaller purchases there, but that week adds up to 30. So we have a couple of other, mostly daily purchases. And apparently I bought this book called Digital Minimalism. I clearly have not read that book because I spend a lot of time on my phone nowadays. Tepin, which I never used. YouTube Studio, which I don't think I ever used because I usually use the main YouTube app. All right, so here it just says sale. It doesn't really say like summer or anything. I think this might be summer though at this point. Visor Pack H, which is $47, a $12 and $8. Oh, did I skip June? Okay, so actually we're in July already, so I didn't do June yet. So the total for June was $73. So this $73 is in preparation for summer and for Final Fantasy VII. Okay, so starting off July with some pretty big purchases there. $47, that's probably the 10,000 Viz pack, and then the VC Esper training pack. So I guess that's the one with Magicites and growth eggs. And then sort of the mid-month 30-day Visor purchase, a couple of daily purchases here, 4 total. And now it's actually saying summer. So that's the Visor Pack F that cost $7 for the 2400 paid Viz. So that's usually a really good deal. Summer Visor Pack 1, so a lot of daily purchases. So that's probably me building up Lilith on the daily purchases. And then Summer Starter Pack. So again, I think that's the one with the growth eggs and stuff. And a couple of daily purchases. So that's already starting August. So what was the number for July? $94. I mean, that sounds about right. And then this first week of August is not too bad. We have 3 single purchases, not too bad. And we're already up to August 23rd, and we're buying the 30-day pack. So I think August is looking pretty cheap, a cheap month. Okay, so now we do 2 $13 purchases. And it feels like this month is not ending. So here's another $8 and $7 purchases. There's Visor Pack F once again. So I think that's the start of Final Fantasy VII because it says collab. And this should be September probably. Okay, so the total for August is $69. Nice. Okay, so August was definitely a super good month. September, so we have a bunch of dollar purchases. That makes sense because Cloud, I basically did those all for Cloud. And I think the following week I did those all for, was it Barrett or? I don't really remember. Well, let's assume it was Barrett. So I did a bunch of those dollar purchases, another 30-day Visor pack, and we didn't get the super 30-day pack. And here is another Visor Pack F. So that's actually for the 1.5 anniversary, so that's more of a Lara Croft one. And the Visor Pack F that we saw earlier was the collab one, so that was the Final Fantasy VII one. Okay, so that week, not too bad of a week that week, but I mean, it's almost the end of September, so that's not too bad. And here are the last purchases I made in September. So there's that $40 Cloud Shard Pack for 100 shards. Regular, usual dollar purchases, and the $7.99 starter pack. And that for sure is the one with all the growth eggs and the skip tickets and the gill snappers. So I think after that, so the 30-day super value pack, which came out I think before Elena, I should say. So that was another. I mean, I guess to me that's a good value, so I will take that. And in total for September, we have $105. And then this other stuff is pending, but I'm assuming it's October. We're just going to count that as October. And the total for that is actually $18. So, all right, so since we're in October now, that's pretty much the last of it. And then the only other thing is in total. So this, to me, I was expecting it to be around maybe like $600 or $700, but my actual total ends up being $1,033, which to me kind of looks like a lot of money. But this is like since the game started, so it's essentially been 1.5 years, obviously, because we're at the 1.5 year anniversary. So I mean, I guess if we extrapolate that out for 2 years, that'll probably end up being like, I don't know, $1,300 or maybe $1,400 or $1,500, which I can see as being quite a bit of money. But I'm sort of kind of thinking of that as, you know, I'm not really playing any other games, so yeah. All right, so then I also did the average per month, but I did it 2 different ways. So the first average is including the time that I was actually free to play. So it's all the months combined, and that would be $58 a month. But if I only include the months starting in August, I'm really spending $68 a month, which is probably more accurate because now that I've gotten into the spending mood, I think that it's probably going to average out to be something like that. So yeah, basically at the end of the day, I'm sort of just thinking of, I see that $1,033, and I'm just going to turn this off for right now. I see that $1,033, and I'm kind of just like, wow, I really spent that much money. And I'm sort of asking myself if I really see myself as a whale. You know, I kind of feel like a whale at this point, like looking at that number, but I kind of know that other people end up spending way more money than I do. So I don't feel too bad, especially coming out at $68 a month at the high end. I think that's not too bad. So I do kind of feel like a whale because I usually don't spend this much money on stuff. But at the same time, I can definitely see how I spent this much money. I personally don't have every unit, so in terms of that, I'm not a whale. I don't really want to go for everything. There's people that do have everything, and you know, it's cool that they have it. But to me, I feel like I'll get bored once I have everything because I really like the struggle of it all and like grinding stuff out. So I think that's what I enjoy, part of what I enjoy the game. So if I were to whale out and just buy everything, I probably wouldn't really enjoy the game. And honestly, I probably would quit the game much sooner than what I am at now. And so one of the other things I'm sort of thinking about is I remember playing World of Warcraft back in the day, and I really hated paying for the subscription. I think the subscription was about $16 a month. And I just really wasn't feeling the subscription. I guess, I don't know, it felt like a lot, but I guess like part of the reason was like I never really understood like what was fun about the game. I was just running around just killing things and leveling up. I don't know, I just didn't really find what was the fun in that game. But now it's kind of funny to me how, you know, I do like this game, War of the Visions. I do like playing this game, and the fact that I was able to start for free and just experience the game and have fun with it, it sort of just allowed me to say, hey, you know what, I'll spend on this game because I'm enjoying it. And it seems like I'm gladly spending like way more money than I would on a subscription game. So there's got to be something to this gacha system that you know, these developers are making tons of money off of it. They must be on to something for sure, for sure. And then I ask myself, like, personally, is this a lot of money to me? It does feel like a lot of money. Like, looking at that $1,000 number, I don't feel like super great about that. But at the same time, like, you know, I make enough money that this isn't really like this amount per month is really not that much of a problem for me. I do feel weird that I spent that much on just one game. If I had spent that on a bunch of different games, I would feel way better about that. However, I have in the past, I have bought plenty of games that I just never played. That includes like Steam games, Switch games, PlayStation games that I buy because, you know, they're good games and I have every intention to play them, but I just never end up playing them. And I feel like, thinking about that, I feel like that's more of a waste of money if I don't actually play the game. So if I'm actually spending on this game because I play it, I think that's probably a good thing. And for sure, like, thinking about how much I played this game, pretty much have played this game, like, once I really got into it, every day for like a year and a half, basically 1.5 years. So, I mean, I guess you can say there's worth out of that, but at the same time, I know a lot of that was grinding, and I know a lot of that was investment of time. So since I'm also investing time, maybe it's not as worth it as I think it is. So the other thing is that I've kind of just been, aside from, you know, spending on this, I haven't really been spending on much else. Like, not even just considering games, but like, since it's been the pandemic, I haven't really been spending on food. Like, you know, I do buy food that I make at home, but in terms of going out to eat food, I don't really do that much. The other day I went to Chipotle and it was like $11. So I'm kind of like, if I really think about that, like, now it's basic. I guess we're in a recession now, so prices of food has gone up, of like meals have gone up. So if I were to buy food every day for lunch, I'd probably be spending more than $10 a day. So that would be, considering a work week, that would be $50 a week, and times 4 for a month, that would be $200 a month just on food. So within $5 months worth of food, I'm spending the same amount of dollars. So thinking of it that way, it doesn't feel like a lot of money, but, you know, comparing it to like a $60 game, this could have been like more than $60, like 15 or so, a little less than 15 $60 game. So, you know, that's, thinking of it that way, it does look like a lot of money. I'm also considering, I used to play the Pokemon trading card game before the pandemic, and I would spend a lot of money on that. I don't really know how much I've spent on that, but there was one day that I bought like $300 worth of stuff. And let's just say I didn't necessarily use that stuff. It's just kind of lying around. So easily I could see myself having spent way more money than I spent playing War of the Vision. And so the last thing is, how do I feel about this going forward? I feel like cutting down on my spending, and I'm thinking of maybe just doing like the $30 paid Viz bundle. I really have to decide, because there are a couple of good, like the Visor Pack F bundle, definitely a really good one. And whenever they do those super 30-day bundles, definitely really good. So I kind of have to figure out what I want to, if I'm going to cut down. Who knows if I'll actually cut down. I do really feel like after doing this that I want to cut down, but we'll actually see what I actually do. And so my other idea of going forward is to just, I already have a bunch of good units. I really just need to pull on who I like and not really factor in whether they're limited or whether they're 100 cost or what have you. Just pull on who I like, enjoy the game, and stop trying to keep up with people. Stop trying to keep up with all these units that are releasing. because I really don't need them all at this point. My account feels like it's really strong at this point. Okay guys, I'm gonna end it there because I know it's already long enough. Thankfully, it's not over an hour like I did last time, but hopefully this is at least informative or useful to you in some way, or funny maybe. I'm curious to see if you guys don't have to calculate it, but I'm curious to see if you guys think you spent more than that or less than that. I'm curious to think what free-to-play players think, because I feel like my account is not that strong, and after spending $1,000 on this game, for my account to not be like that strong, I kind of wonder what it's like as a free-to-play player. How do you guys feel about not being able to progress anywhere near as fast as like a paid player? And I think that's basically it. I think I'm gonna leave it there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. It was actually funny for me to look at this because I was not really expecting it to go that high, but at the same time, I was not expecting my monthly average to be that low as well, if that makes sense. So thinking about it by the month, it's actually not even that bad. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will catch you in the next video. Take it easy.